Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and very good morning everybody. Just to start our event this morning for Muslim, let us begin with reciting of Al-Fatihah, and I will also leading the short prayer together with you all. Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma innaka afuwun karim tuhibbu afwa fa'fu anna. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidina warhamhuma kama rabbawna shighara wa li jami'il muslimin wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Rabbi zidna ilma. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzaban nar. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wasallim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alright. Welcome all participants to workshop on advanced work packaging. Alright. Are we ready? This is a workshop jointly organized by Malaysian Oil and Gas Services Council, Engineering Work Group, in collaboration with a joint industry collaboration, JIC, for AWP and PPM Taskforce, and together with PETRONAS, and we are together today, 30th June, the final day of June 2021, in the online platform Microsoft Team of hosted by MOGSC. All right, so I would like to introduce myself, Muhammad Al-Azhari bin Abdullah Sani. Simply call me Al. I will be your master of ceremony for this morning. All right, and we will be having about 2 hours event. A discussion on the topic of advanced work packaging. Are we ready? All right. Before we go further, let us spend a few minutes to watch the safety and quality video. All right. Please enjoy yourself. Oh, before that, I will explain the workshop agenda first. All right, we will have a keynote address after the HSC and quality moment. All right, and we will show a short video on AWP fundamental. We will be having a panel session. The panel session round 1 and round 2 for about half an hour. And then followed by a Q&A session. All right. We will be having 2 rounds of Q&A session. All right. And the first session, after the first Q&A session, we will be having a short break. All right. You can have time to make your tea and freshen up. All right. But we plan for a short group photo as well during that time. And we will continue with the final round of the panel session, and we will be having a short breakout session as well. All right, we will guide you to the breakout session, and our facilitators will be guiding you in the discussion. And the final conclusion session about 11:35, and followed by the final Q&A session. You may put your question in the chat box, in the chat room during the panel session throughout this event, or you can also ask your question verbally during the assigned Q&A sessions. All right, and we are targeting to have to close out the workshop by 12 noon, inshallah. Okay, so let's go to the safety and quality moment video. Enjoy yourself.
Fall of person through the openings. Fall of tools or other materials through the openings which may strike the persons below or damage equipment. Openings more than 1 meter shall be closed and provided with a guardrails comprising of top rail, mid rail, and toe board. Additionally, safety net may be placed over openings to prevent fall of materials below. Fall of
All right, so thank you for the video, Secretariat. All right, before we go to the keynote address, I would like to uh, energize a little bit our session this morning. Can we have you have the emoticon button on the MS Team? Can I have a lot of love, please? Oh, nice. So a lot of love. So spread the love and spread the happiness, spread the positive vibes. This we are going to have a interactive session this morning, and looking forward towards active participation and a beneficial learnings from the discussion we have. All right, and I would like to address the key leaders in our that make our event happen to this morning. The first, Wan Sharifah Zaida Nulisha as the president of Malaysia Oil and Gas Services Council, MOGSC. Puan Sharifah, how are you?
Alhamdulillah.
All right,
I
and
still see you started with all this love, and people are so participative, so much love there.
wah, berbunga-bunga, guys.
Itulah.
All right, and together with us also this morning is the Vice President of Group Project Delivery, GPD PETRONAS, Haji Nimi Nur Ilyas Idris. Apa khabar, Haji? Waalaikumsalam. All right, we'll be hearing from you on the keynote address shortly, Haji.
Thank you.
All right, and we also have the champion of joint industry collaboration of AWP and PPM, Encik Zamri. Can I see Encik Zamri?
Hi, Assalamualaikum
Hi.
and a very good morning. Welcome everybody to the session.
All right, I'm also encouraged to see the participation. I believe a lot of company leaders, industry leaders, directors, CEOs, senior management teams joining with us this morning. Thank you very much. And I would like to also introduce the moderator of this that will guide us this morning, custodian construction of PETRONAS, Tuan Encik Rahim, Encik Rahim Bahrudin. Encik Rahim.
Okay.
Salam
Salam sejahtera. Ya, salam sejahtera. Assalamualaikum and very good morning. But I would like to say hello with small pantun. For those who don't understand pantun, pantun is a form of Malay verse used express to intricate ideas and emotions.
Wow.
Peraturan Zito Rules Amalan Harian bidang pembinaan pengkhususan diamanahkan. Productivity Project diberi keutamaan, kesediaan amalan AWP diperbincangkan. In English, give the translation as, the Zito Rule is a company daily practice in HSE. The fields of construction of specialization is the area that we are looking for. Project productivity is given the priority in managing the project. The readiness of AWP practices is the topic that we will discuss today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Encik Rahim. Siap pantun in Malay, in English as well.
That's very interesting.
Encik Rahim, maybe you can also introduce the panelists, the other two panelists apart from Puan Sharifah.
All right, let me get through.
We have already in the video.
Yeah, the other two panelists are Mr. Reni Lamping, is the VP from Aviva Enterprise Resource Management Software, which is part of Engineering Business Unit. He is responsible for global technical sales across various industry. His major focus is on AWP. It's very good, be part of our panelists today. And he has over 25 years of experience covering implementations of construction software in customer project for US, Middle East, Asia Pacific, and so on. The other part of our panel is Mr. Adam, from the contractor that we have invited. He is the lead of a Smart Yard Analyst from Sapura Energy, the local fabricator. He focused on implementing the tools of AWP, start from zero, what he said. And he has implemented the AWP journey in 4 EPCC projects at the Lumut Fabrication Yards. Welcome.
All right, so thank you, Encik Rahim, and welcome all leaders. We have a combined more than 100 years of experience if we combine all the moderators and the panelists. So let's have a very beneficial session today. And without further ado, I would like to pass to our keynote speaker, Tuan Haji Nur Ilyas Muhammad Idris, Vice President of Group Project Delivery PETRONAS. Over to you, Haji Nimi.
Thank you, Al. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all. First of all, actually, I'm very excited I think you guys can hear me, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, clearly.
First of all, I'm very excited about this, the new way of us working. At the same time, I get nervous how quick we can adapt this and move on and get the results. So I will like to jump into the results at the end of the day. So first of all, let me welcome all of the participants to this inaugural workshop. I like the title also, the Advanced Working Packaging. Are we ready? And I would like to say thank you to Puan Sharifah as a president of MOGSC for her continued support and belief in what we are trying to do. And also a special thanks to Joint Industry Collaboration Task Force for making this happen. And also to PETRONAS for belief that this is something that for us to all embrace and move on. And if I can share in PETRONAS, we believe in the need of us to embrace this future advancement through technology, digitalization, and also the new way of working towards better project performance. And this is, I think, the best time ever with the critical need for all the gas industry players to innovate. And I'm not talking about innovate tomorrow or next year. We're talking about innovate now. And this is the only way for us to transform and improve our work processes in response to the current unprecedented challenges that we are facing. And from what we have seen in PETRONAS, from our observation of the global industry trends and development and advanced working packaging, or AWP, actually starting to gain the traction as industry best practice that we should all focus on. And the improved methodology developed by Construction Industry Institute, aiming to actually address the various pain points in construction projects and also to improve further our productivity moving forward. And the way we would like to approach now compared to how do we approach before, instead of us directly mandating this adoption of and implementation of this AWP in our project, we really would like to start by having a workshop where can we listen and better understanding the related concern, if there are any, from our partners' perspective, the pain points in us making this happen. So I think this kind of workshop, I believe strongly, could actually collaborate among ourselves and find ways how can we mitigate the challenges, and in order for us to move towards the transformation journey. And I would like to encourage all of us here to actually have a very frank discussion, interactive discussion. And this kind of workshop is actually a great avenue for us to enhance our engagement within our stakeholders, among our industry players in Malaysia. And in PETRONAS, we do have a culture belief that we call courage to act. And for us to take action to progress with pace is something that we all must do now, especially where the environment we are in right now. As we are currently facing with the crisis, the time to act is actually definitely now. And we have to continuously learn, unlearn, and improve as part of our agile way of doing things. So we acknowledge the importance and crucial role of our industry players in ensuring the success of any transformation effort that we put in plan. So PETRONAS believe strongly the whole project ecosystem to move forward together and collaborate for mutual benefit for each member of the industry is a must in order for us to move forward together as one big family. So I would like to take this opportunity to record our appreciation to MOGSC, especially to Puan Sharifah, and in playing a very important role and strategic role to connect the industry fraternity with our effort in moving forward. And I also would like to highlight, give appreciation, special thanks for the collaboration industry in organizing this workshop today. And I hope that we can always having more workshop in the future if there is any further enhancement in technology that we would like to put where we can discuss among ourselves as one team. So are we ready for AWP is the question we all have to ask ourselves. I think time is absolutely now for us to actually look into it and find a way how can we move forward. And let's have a very constructive discussion on the subject today. And let's find out together with the panelists that we have today. And we have to gather the ideas that could bring our project delivery performance at the next level. with that, I'm looking forward to hear all the the positive outcome from this session. And I would like to give an advance thank you to all of you for your all active participation. With that, thank you so much, and back to you then, moderator Al. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tuan Haji Nimi. A round of applause, please, to Vice President of Group Project Delivery. You can also have the emoticon, right? All right, so thank you for the keynote address, and let's move forward together. That is the message that is being clearly conveyed by Tuan Haji Nimi just now, and definitely this is a first workshop that planned by the joint industry collaboration. There will be a lot more in the pipeline that we already planned. So hopefully we can continue the collaboration and together build the understanding, build the maturity, build the momentum towards proper adoption of AWP for the benefit of the whole industry, inshallah. All right, without further ado, and I would like to pass the session to our moderator for today, Tuan Haji Rahim, to lead the panel session with our distinguished panelists. Over to you, Tuan Haji Rahim.
Yeah, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. And today, as what we mentioned by Al, panelists will be sharing with us on their expert opinion on the AWP. Are we ready? So with it, I ask you to give a full attention to the panelists and help me welcoming them into the panel session. Okay, to kick start. Work process disruptions due to COVID-19 pandemic has brought productivity-related challenges forward in recent months. Early involvement of the contractors and service providers is really critical to the project productivity. Aiding the new technologies can be used to help the process even in remote environments. With the help of new machine learning and AI technology, huge costs can be potentially reduced. And at PETRONAS, as what we mentioned in the keynote address, we see that advanced work packaging is a method that shows great promise for increasing productivity. Now, do we really need to transform? What will be you see is technologies of Puan Sharifah, based on your understanding? What are the specific pain points in project delivery that AWP potentially can improve? Over to you, Puan Sharifah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, moderator Cik Rahim. It's good to hear Haji Nimi speaking just now. He has always been instrumental in ensuring that the initiatives that's been rolled out is actually receive the feedback and discuss at length the industry. And I think that's a key success factor for any initiative that needs to be implemented. To answer your question, Cik Abdul Rahim, what are the specific pain points? I'd like to take you back to 1995 during Coral 1. And to those who are familiar in this zone, or the same time zone as me, that's how old it is, that's in 1995. Yeah? One of the key issues that was brought back up then was that we need to actually have the planning, spend time on planning upfront. And the case in point at that point in time was that engineering needed to be given time to ensure proper engineering and planning for the rest of the execution. And a mistake in the engineering phase is very insignificant, so to speak, to the exponential effect that will be that we will experience should that mistake be carried through to construction. So the mistake is exponential. we on the engineering drawing board is just discussion time spent to discuss and actually just changing the drawings. But the exponential impact for not having the materials on site or not having that the activity ready for whatever time that was supposed to be, that is really going to be exponential. So what happened at that point in time between 1995 to 2000? For your information, Coral 1 was 95 to 2000. The contracting strategy was actually changed to capture this feedback from the industry, and we started to have EPCC leading a contract where E is a big engineering E, and of course the PCC. But unfortunately, at that point in time, the infrastructure was not there to support this change. The technology was not there to actually support the requirement to actually have this integration from the construction phase up into the FEED or the engineering phase. And hence, what happened was at that point in time, we have Primavera, we have Microsoft packages, but it had to be manually linked between the activities, and hence we lose sight and we lose time and we lose gaps because it was not inside a proper structure. Hence, AWP to me, at that point in time, that was when, I think about 5 years later, that was when the contracting strategy went back to FEED and a small E PCC. If you're familiar with it, that's what we have at the moment also, I think. So that answers that question, whether specific pain point that AWP would address would be this technology to support the need to have the planning upfront. Now, there is a lot of change that needs, not a lot, there are a few things that needs to be addressed in having this change, but that ability to actually have sight on the execution side, execution phase, and the activities that needs to be done specifically, bukan just on general only, is actually very beneficial, because then you'd have a very smooth execution. Of course, there's nothing as 100% smooth execution, but at least the exponential effect that mistakes can carry through will be minimized. And I think that would be what I think AWP would address.
Thanks. Very energetic feedback, brought up against the history, the needs to transform from manual into probably digital mode. Let us listen from the industry player, Mr. Rayana. How receptive are other global industry based on your engagement with the public in various parts of the world towards AWP? Why are they probably behaving in such a manner?
First of all, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me here. I would say today the reception is very, very good. It gains traction basically day by day, more and more. But that took some time, right? And I remember some 7, 8, 9 years ago, it was not really considered to be a major game changer. But now that has substantially changed. So what we see very often is that our customers, they receive RFIs from owner-operators, where the owner-operator has a checklist and say, can you do this, 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 and this, right? And to be honest, for us in Aviva, we are sitting in the same boat like every EPC. The next order is the most important thing, right? We have to win something here. And that is, of course, a very high motivation. Okay, and nobody is these days in the position anymore to say, oh, no, I don't want to take that order because they want me to do something. No, I'm not. No, sorry, right? We have this comfortable situation we don't have. But at this point in time, I would also like to point out something. When we are talking about AWP today, right? It sounds always as this is a thing that has been invented in the US about 10 years ago and comes from some academia ideas or whatever. That's not quite right. We have something like this AWP. We never called it like that. The term was coined later. But we had that literally, I would say, more than 20 years ago. when we started on the high project level, right? Because you know these tools like Primavera P6, this is more project management. This is administration. This is also one of the biggest criticisms we hear from these gentlemen from PPM, right? That they are saying, oh, this is all administration, but what about the day-to-day business, right? That's a complete different beast. And that's also what we experience. So customers were asking more day-to-day practical support. And so we built that on the high level, right? And that's what I today would call work packaging. And then we built for another company the detailed level, as we call that, which is called today work phase planning. But that was literally in 1997. And another customer bought these two elements and said, hey guys, you have to bake that together. And he, for me, and that was in the year 2000, that was ST Marine in Singapore, they coined the term work package. They said on the high level, we plan a work package, and on the low level, we plan the details. And another customer wanted to have an execution layer so that they could collect the progress, could see what can we do with traffic light systems, are the drawings ready, are the materials ready. This is not something that has been invented recently, right? That all has naturally basically evolved. And those CII guys, they put a concept around that. And today, again, as I said earlier, the major push is really coming from owner-operators because they see that as a chance to improve the projects. And what we also see is that slowly, the EPCs who are adopting that, they see, hey, we also benefit. It's not only a marketing thing here to make the owner-operator happy, but it really gives us some improvement and some positive feedback, and it pays, right? So they really have return on investment there. So yeah, after all, it's a very important thing right now.
Thank you, Mr. Rainer. Well, that's very interesting topics and explanatory patterns. We can see from early 90s the needs for us to move forward in order to improve further in managing projects. I would like the keyword by Mr. Rainer talk about evolutions from project management tools available at a particular time, and look into very detailed specific tool that will be help the skilled worker to work using specific technology. All right. Moving forward, part of the JIC AWP workshop number 1 is to understand the key challenges, as what we mentioned by early on. From the industry, and we'll be looking into how to accelerate the maturity of AWP adoptions within the oil and gas industry in Malaysia. And I guess this is an important topic that affecting many of our stakeholders, especially in Malaysia, when we want to roll out of these probably promising tools. So some of the challenges for us to look to implement the AWP may involve people, process, technology, and of course, the associated costs. Let us hear from our panelists. I would like to pose a question to Mr. Adam from the contractor themselves. Based on your past experience in implementing the AWP packages, tools, what would be your key message in order to further improve your belief in managing challenges and obstacles in your future projects?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rahim. For answer the question, I already prepared some material just for our guidance. Let me share my screen. Okay, first of all, these are the prepared material that I would like to share to all the audience about advanced work packaging and the key identified on the implementation, people, process, and system. But first of all, I would like to introduce the company journey in adopting the AWP methodology. by applying a digital solution put together through the digital in order to create AWP practice. So this is journey in Sapura. We started on 2018 by deployment some of the tools to the project, but honestly, during this implementation, we thought that AWP is something that plug and play. We just receive a contract that mentioned about AWP. We need to apply to the project, and we thought that is very simple. But during the implementation, we realized that AWP is some methodology that required teamwork from all phases. So from the first project, we have our lesson learned. Until the latest project, we still have a lesson learning on the AWP. So I can say that along the journey in Sapura, I can rate our journey still at the low maturity and getting to the medium maturity. Based on the CII, what is the low maturity is about culture and scale, and medium is the process definition. Because we still do alignment between our stakeholders from E, P, CC, and we still define the process alignment to achieve the LP. So I cannot say that we already matured yet, but we are growing, and we already started the journey of the LP. So every phase we have a lesson learned, and we have a room to improvise. So basically, what packaging, we already know. It's about getting the right stuff to the right people at the right time. So it's about coordination and alignment between procurement, engineering, procurement, and construction. And we always hear about really starting with the end in mind, starting with the construction and developing the path of construction in order to create the AWP. So what is the reason that Sapura adopting or embark on this journey? First, I can say that it's a contractual by owners, and also it's a company objective or company direction that we need to adapt the latest EPCIC working fundamentals, trending in IR 4.0 by adapting digital twin and also digitally enabled AWP. So whenever contractual by owners, there is a two project that state clearly on the implementation of the advanced for packaging, shown as the left side, and the right side is another project that clearly state they want to achieve a 4D visualization and 5D. So what is the 4D? 4D is a combination of a 3D model that normally EPCIC have, but they want to have integration between 3D model with times, and also the latest one is the 5D 3D model plus time. This means a schedule from Primavera or any planning tools, plus with the material availability. So this is something that we need to achieve during implementation of LPP. We have a clear integration between engineering, procurement, and construction. Because any delay from the first step will impact the construction. So the most impacted is the construction. Whenever they want to execute the job, it's a reality. There is no material. Material is not there. Material is not enough to perform the job. So in traditional way, we will contact who is the PIC and everything. It's consuming time, because in fabrication or in construction, time is our, I can say, is our enemy. We keep fighting on the time. So by using the advanced for packaging, that means the construction will lead the project, give the what we need to perform this task. We need to have a complete materials, complete engineering drawing, everything. So it should be bring to the upfront together with the planning. So this is the advanced for packaging methodology core that we bring the end to the upfront. So along the journey, along the implementation, I cannot I can say that we have three key challenges. First is people, process, and technology. This is a common situation where we can see in every new technology applied to company. normally people tend to refuse a new technology because they already feel comfortable in our environment. I already use Excel to perform a project for 20 years. Whenever a new guy coming want to introduce a new system, it's a normal things that the all timers say. I already did so many projects using Excel. Why you coming here to teach me a new things? So it's a normal. People tend to refuse to change. It's about people and culture and people adaptation. Then they also always say that wow, you coming to give me a new scope of work or new burden. Then they start to refuse to give a commitment to the system or methodology that we going to introduce. And the reason why is actually they don't understand the value of implementing this AWP or methodology to the project and to their career growth. So next is about process. I can say that there is a lack of alignment between stakeholders. So whenever we embark this thing, we can see that there is so many gap between stakeholders about the communication and data sharing. So by using this methodology, we perform a gap analysis between stakeholders, aligning back all the process, and based on the AWP guided, we can achieve align and standardize communication between stakeholders. And last is a technology. Technology, I can say that is totally required in this day because it will assist us to manage the micro management things. We can manage on the macro, but how about the micro? So the micro is a most tedious part that whenever we let human manage it, it will become so many human error, and the process might be repeated every time. So technology or the system that we're going to introduce in AWP will assist that. But from the real case, from the real experience, technology, we need to choose wisely on technology. Either the technology we're going to implement or we're going to invest, is it driven or designed to adopt the AWP or not? Because if let's say we just simply get the technology by buying any technology, then we think that technology will achieve the AWP. It's not going to be, because we need to invest on the interfaces to other systems that we already have, the customization to achieve the AWP things. But if let's say we have do some research in the market, there is so many systems that are already designed to help the company in construction to achieve the AWP easily. That means whenever we bring the software into our company, the system already have the factors that can assist on achieving the AWP. So my experience is that flexibility is important because in our EPCC we have so many training model, example from Aviva, Bentley, even Integral. So we need to define that our system can accept the various data from our current system or not. If let's say the system apply on the closed system, it will have some issue to us. We need to have some interface or translation. But let's say the system we already purchased that have the open system, that means it's easier to us. We can accept any data into our system, and we can proceed to the next processing by integrating to the planning, procurement, and the work packaging itself. Okay, that's all. Rahim, sharing from my side.
All right, thank you, Mr. Adam. You have addressed a lot in terms of few areas, especially touch on people mindset, people adoption, the project management processes, as well as how the big data can be managed in order to manage, or probably overcoming the potential error in implementing the project requirement during the execution. Yeah. So in order to give us, better idea what has been addressed by Mr. Adam, I would like to get assistance from Al to, probably refresh our mind on what is the AWP all about, the video. Al, please.
Yeah. Before we go to the next question, maybe for the benefit of the participants, we can share a short video on AWP fundamentals. So this is a short 5-minute video. So can we have it online, Secretariat?
Are you trying to figure out how advanced work packaging improves construction project performance? Let's get down to the basics in this quick video. Construction project challenges are widely known. The average large project runs 80% over budget, 20% over schedule, and fails to achieve any semblance of predictability. Even small projects record a 30% plus failure rate. To improve project performance, we need to change the way we deliver projects. Advanced work packaging forges team alignment early in the project lifecycle. Engineering, procurement, construction, and completions representatives collaborate to determine the optimal project execution strategy at the front end of the project. The team begins with a plot plan. They strategically partition the project into large geographic areas of work, which we call construction work areas. These construction work areas are sequenced based upon the optimal construction execution strategy. This sequence sets in place our path of construction. The path of construction will guide activity and deliverable sequencing throughout the project lifecycle. Construction work areas are broken out into disciplines. In a single construction work area, you may have structural work, piping activities, electrical tasks, and others. Within each construction work area, you will have one or multiple engineering work packages, or EWPs. EWPs are produced by the engineering team, but boundaries are collaboratively defined by the project team based upon how the work will be executed by construction field crews. Think of EWPs as a series of buckets that will be handed over to construction once 100% full. Contents include 3D model data, drawings, specifications, and vendor data. Engineering work packages are used as the foundation for construction work packages. Construction work packages are produced by the construction management team. They aggregate construction planning information related to engineering work packages, such as scaffold requirements, equipment requirements, quality instructions, and a bill of material. Procurement work packages, or PWPs, are produced to track the status of procurement activities related to an engineering work package. Each EWP has a defined set of material and equipment that needs to be requisitioned, purchased, and shipped to site. PWPs are used to track the documentation and data related to every item that is required to be installed within an engineering work package. Construction work packages are broken down into even smaller chunks of work, which are called installation work packages, or IWPs. IWPs are also discipline-specific and contain all of the information that a foreman requires to execute a specific scope of work. These packages typically contain enough work for one crew for a 1 to 2 week time period. Included in the installation work package is a scope of work, a task list, a bill of material, health and safety information, and quality control documentation. Further, all of the material required for this work package is bagged and tagged before work even begins. IWPs are produced by new construction team members, known as workface planners. Workface planners use their technical knowledge and field experience to build high-quality work packages. They identify and mitigate constraints or roadblocks to ensure that construction crews can execute work flawlessly. All construction tasks are tracked at a granular level. Each day, form and check off the completed activities on their IWP task list. Progress is entered into the IWP tracking system and an updated % complete for the IWP is produced. Because of the concise package-based work breakdown structure, this progress can be rolled up to produce a more accurate % complete for each construction work package, discipline, construction work area, and for the project as a whole. Using advanced work packaging, we don't find thousands of punch items at the end of the project. Tasks are closed out week by week, and incomplete items are moved to later work packages. No more over-progressing. No more finding out that 200 feet of progress pipe hasn't even been installed yet. The best part? Advanced work packaging is proven to work. Project teams have used it to improve productivity, to reduce costs, to improve safety performance, to reduce schedule durations, to drive quality advancements, and to improve overall project predictability.
All right, that's all for the fundamentals. So we go back to the panel session with our moderator, Encik Rahim. Back
Thank
to you,
you,
Encik Rahim.
thank you all for the very informative videos. Let us go back to the common ground. There are challenges that have been addressed by Mr. Adam Leon. Talk about people, the process, and technologies. What says you, Puan Sharifah? Do we need to totally reinvent the way we organize our people, the process in project execution in order to implement AWP based on, you know, the historical evolutions of oil and gas in project since 1991 that you have highlighted, during your involvement in Coral, and now you are thinking about AWP?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say that when Adam said that he is actually at the low end maturity of the AWP journey, I get very, very scared because he's been in this for 3 years. So I cannot imagine, how we have to actually adopt this. But I think one of the problems that he faced is because there is lack of understanding or awareness amongst the stakeholders that's supposed to give input, and probably with this workshop we can actually address that problem, and the understanding and awareness will be faster. And first, the other one, we're looking at the video. I mean, as an old timer like this with 31 years in the job and in this industry, and nearly 25 years in project management, I would look at that and say, we have all that. We have been doing all that. So what's new about AWP? Okay, so I think that's the point that we need to understand. AWP is not new. It's something that we at one point in time or at all times actually have been adopting, except that we have been doing it in bits and pieces and manually. So we don't get the input up front. So are we going to reinvent the whole thing? Is it a reinvention process? No, it's not. It's not a reinvention, but it's actually what did I use just now? Reorganizing of the processes that we already have. Now, please understand, when this is not my forte. So I keep telling people I'm very nervous at this panel because AWP is not my forte. I myself grappling with understanding what AWP is, because I think the future without understanding what AWP is, I'd like to stress, is equivalent to maybe making your company or yourselves irrelevant or obsolete, because we are moving, the whole world probably is moving towards this, and we are left behind, and obviously there's no place for us. So it's very important that we understand this. So are we reinventing? No, probably some reskilling need to be done. Reskilling, why do I say that? You can see that from the video just now, they say that we need work phase planners. Now, what do we have in our current project? We have project planners. Now, does the project planner actually build the planning to the granular? Honestly, I can say that probably not really. And that's why we have punch lists. So when we talk about work phase planners, this is, to me, a totally new field that we probably need to understand. And workplace planners, does it mean that you have to study, become workplace planners? No. If you look at the video just now, workplace planner is to build high quality work packages from experience that they have. So it can consist of people who have all this experience, including project engineers currently doing the jobs now and things like that. It's just the understanding that there is this need of a workplace planners. And as Adam actually highlighted just now, I saw his title just now as an analyst, if I'm not mistaken, and it's actually integrating between the alignment processes. And that's one of the things probably we need to actually have. And understanding each of these phase to actually be able to come up with a high quality work package is probably one of the, I think, difficult part. It's easier said than done, I can say. In the past, we've had said, oh, we need to have a proper WBS, we have to have a work breakdown structure that can help, and then we produce something and that's it. We produce a planning package and we say, okay, at that bit or at the starting of the project, that's the planning package, and that's it. You know, we go back from time to time because it's a basis for the progress that we have. But we are talking, when AWP, we're talking about a totally different thing. We're talking about, we don't have to get the progress comes automatically. Honestly, in my own company, I've tried to do this real-time progress. I wanted to do it in-house because I don't see off-the-shelf item doing this. This has been an activity that I've been doing unsuccessfully in the past 5 years. I wanted to have real-time progress where in an engineering consultancy, you produce the drawings, you get the drawings done, and I don't have to ask the leads to actually tell me what the progress is. It's automatically received. And I think some have achieved that, and we have achieved a little bit, but it's not, we didn't have that technology. So this is where, if what I understand from the video, that AWP is a proven way of doing business, means what it means is that you already have structures that's already available to actually support what we need to do. So we need to do some maybe reskilling, the mindset changing. And after 3 years, Adam is still struggling with the alignment between people, process. I think that is the biggest challenge. And of course, identifying technology. How do you decide that? How do you decide which technology? That is my biggest problem. The first thing, when we found out about AWP and what PETRONAS wanted to do, the first thing I ask my guys is, go and find out AWP, is there any off-the-shelf item? And it's not. It's actually about understanding what we have and what is required and trying to match it. And I think Adam brought out a very important point. When you actually have these different things of doing the different processes or softwares that we have, it's about finding whether they talk to each other. I think in our industry, we've done that before, talking about BOCAD and 3D, where you have that interface layer, talking about open interface. I think 10 years ago, we actually had this discussed under an open system, where we said, why don't the industry be allowed to choose whatever software that they have, but it's actually dropped into the stakeholder via an open system, via an ISO, I can't remember what is it, 5165, something like that, that they can accept that and translate that into what the stakeholder wants. So here we are today, and we have those. So reorganizing, reskilling, not reinventing is what we need to do, but I think we need to understand first what it is. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Oh, very energetic feedback, Sharifah, the president of MOGSC, self-address. A few salient point. Reinvent probably is not the answer, but to retool or probably rethinking, reskilling, and will be supported with the technology. And for sure, technology itself is not a free item. Now, Mr. Rainer, probably you can help me. Perception is that we need to engage expensive digital tools and consultant service to implement AWP. Is this true?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. First of all, it's all about value, right? What value can that bring? It's a little bit like, you know, you celebrate your wedding anniversary and you take your partner out for a fancy dinner that costs you an arm and a leg, but everybody is happy. Okay, worth it. You go to McDonald's and you pay 10 ringgit for a lame burger and you think it's a waste of money, right? It's all about the value. And I think, first of all, that's first, right? It brings definitely value to the table, right? We have what we just have heard earlier about things doing manual, having the old thinking of we have Primavera and now we have to align things manually to make sure, can I do that activity? Do I have all my material? Do I have my drawings? And this is something that's coming out of a system like that more or less naturally, if you want. So, and that level of automation, that of course is definitely beneficial and it will save a lot of time and a lot of money. The other thing I see is right now it is, without any of these kind of technologies, it is very, very difficult for a contractor to tell somebody else where in the project they are. What is your progress? What have you achieved, right? What you can do is present endless Excel lists or Primavera plans or whatever. But if you have a color-coded 3D model and say that's where we are, and that's what we're going to do next week, that's something everybody can understand. So seeing is believing. So those kind of things, they add a lot of value. On the other hand, I have to admit that when you look at CII documentation, for instance, they are very, very rigid, right? They want to tell you exactly, oh, a construction work package is 6 weeks long and has so and so many man hours. Yeah, maybe not, right? Maybe your construction work packages are twice as long or half as long and have less man hours on it or something. That is something the individual company that is implementing that has to decide for themselves, instead of just taking what's on the truck, right, and say, okay, new software, now we have to make it work because PETRONAS is asking for it. That won't work, and that will be the expensive thing, right? That's something I don't believe in at all. This one size fits all. It always has, because here are many companies in this workshop here today, and they're all different, right? This is the difference. That's what it makes. Otherwise, we could all put together and make one company out of it, but that's pointless, right? So, and this has to be reflected by the software. So, and Mr. Adam rightly said, sometimes you have a 3D model from Aviva, and sometimes you get one from Hexagon, and sometimes you have an AutoCAD model or whatever. So you don't want to throw your entire software suite away just because the input is changing, right? So that flexibility you need to have from, yeah, we call that gateway, all right? So we have multiple gateways where you can take that data in from various sources. I think that's a key thing, and it's not only the 3D model; it goes way beyond that. And what I also saw in the video here, yeah, the video, you know, when you see that, you need a new species, a work phase planner. Oh no, my God, everybody sees dollar signs now. Then you have a secretary sitting there, you know, and keying everything. Oh Lord, hopefully not. Okay, so we can do that better, and we can do that easier and simpler and cheaper. And what you just said, Sharifa, that's the key thing. The work phase planner is probably already there. There are people who think about, okay, what are we going to do tomorrow, right? What are we going to do day after? What do we have to finish tomorrow, and so on in the field? And what we need to tell them now is basically just to use a tool to help them, not to control them or whatever. That's pointless, but to help them, to support them, so that they can see on the screen, okay, that is what I have to do tomorrow, but the pump I'm supposed to install is not there. So I don't have to worry about that. Okay, give me only things I can do. And that is, by the way, also the work phase planner's job. It's not only planning. It is his job also to make sure that the work can be executed. This is a very important aspect. Don't throw things into the field that cannot be done. That's pointless. Printing out huge files with all kind of documentation, give it to somebody and say, okay, have fun. And then they start to run around and try to find the pump, the tool, the crane, everything, their guys, where are we, right? This has to be prepared. And that's where the value comes in. And again, I'm pretty sure the majority of the people is already there. It is a training exercise, right? And to make them understand why you are doing that. Because I admit, I'm a lousy software user. And when I read something about, oh, there's Windows 11 coming, I get a heart attack. Oh no, change. What for? Right? What is in for me? Why are they doing that? Right? I don't see any benefit. So, and that has to be conveyed to the people and say, hey guys, we need to provide this, or we need to come up with some proper progress information and so on and so on. And we want to be better. And that's why we are going that route. So there is a purpose. It's not only to torture people with new software, right? There is something behind it, and that has to be conveyed also as a message. All right? And the question is, do you want to be comfortable or do you want to get better? You choose. But you know, if you want to get better, we have to change. There is no way about that, right? Doing the same thing again and again and hope that they get better? No, not so. All right. So we have to move forward, and I think it's way less dramatic. What I also like to point out is that it's our responsibility from the software vendor side to fit into the IT landscape of our customers. I would love to tell everybody, you know, guys, throw away everything you have, take everything from Aviva, and you are happy. Not going to happen, right? You spend so much money on your existing software. So we have to see that we fit in, and that we are not completely intrusive in a way that everything is now put upside down. I think the most successful projects I had, they started really small and tried it out, and then they rolled it out from there. And a very, very prominent customer, they literally started with the low-hanging fruit of the nice things. You know, every time you see AWP, you always see the 4D simulation, and you see color-coded 3D models based on status, and that you can turn them around and filter them and get information. That's an easy thing to set up. Start from there, and then go deeper. And I think this is what Mr. Adams said. That's also the reason why it started in 2018. It is not there yet. There is a big bang, throwing everything away, and then within 6 months we have a complete different number. I don't think so. That's not going to happen. So we have to do it stepwise, right? And then we'll get there.
Well, thanks, Mr. Rennie. I got your point that, you know, each tool have their own capability and benefit, and not to forget about people capability as well.
Yes.
However, one key features that you mentioned about the, you know, the software applicability that can fit all, like the, for example, I would like to use this analogy. Bear with me. Like the iconic song of Liverpool, you will never work alone. So the key message is we need to work together.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Even though I'm not a fan of Liverpool. All right. Now I would like to open for the open discussion. Open discussion to all panels. Probably to Mr. Adam first. There will be some probably we need to look into the investment needed for the benefit of the this AWP implementation, right? So how could we ensure that we won't lose of all the benefits?
Okay, to answer that, first, whenever we want to do a new investment, we need to look back what we have. So basically, I can say that we have all the technologies that already can make the project success. But the key point is we need to invest first on our people, get them aligned, because the tool is there, the people is there, but maybe we have some gap on the communication, on the alignment. Get them aligned. Then after we invest in the people, then we can look into the invest on the software. So whenever we move the next phase of investment on the software, then we can see that the software is just a tool that require people to feed in the information to the tools. Then the tools will generate the output that can benefit to all, the company, the project. If let's say we just with a mind that we already purchased 1 million of software, but we think that the software will do a work for our people, it's not gonna be happen, because the tool is there, but the people not align or understand what they need to do to feed the information to the tools. The tool just is there, it will be abandoned. So first, we need to look back what we have in our current organization. We align back with our people, the tools, then we can look to the new investment that will give our more benefit. So actually the cost is depend on us, how we going to manage the cost. So benefits will be enjoyed later after we have everything aligned, people, process, and even the system. Then we can benefit on the predictive, or everybody say about the benefit of AWP. So that's my opinion on the cost of this thing.
Thanks, Mr. Adam. Okay. I would like to go back to probably Rainer. If there is one thing that you would like, probably the audience to take away in the context of this probably investment part, what would it be?
It's basically it was said already. So first of all, it's something together, right? It's a partnership between us and the customer that we have to agree on first. The second thing is, and when I was invited to this panel, the first note I made on the piece of paper is I need to tell you about the failures. Because everybody is always telling about the shiny, fantastic things here, but sometimes it goes completely wrong. And the worst one I ever had was a case where my customer thought they just buy a software and they have to make sure that the software is perfectly working. So they recalculated all the values our software was calculating to make sure that 4 digits behind the comma, everything is super perfect. And then they just tell the people to use it and everything will be fine. That did not work out very well. Right? In other terms, not at all. So, and I had another case where we were, and Mr. Adam had that on his list, right? The technology part. There was one line item that had $3 signs next to it, customization, right? And we were customizing literally for 1 year based on the input from a single person that was the super champion who knew everything. And when the user saw it the first time, they said, "No, we are not going to use that." And they all walked away. So it is a collaboration, right? If it's not a collaboration, if it's just something here, take it or leave it, it's going nowhere. And that is the biggest waste of money, 100%. And the other thing is, as I said that earlier, I would start small. I would not go for a big bang, throw everything away, make everything new. No, it is our job from a software vendor to fit into the existing landscape, and then take it from there step by step. That's our obligation, actually.
Noted. Rainer, anything else, Rainer, you want to say?
Well,
okay.
No I have so much to tell you. I'm just looking at the watch here, but of course, I mean technology is somewhat tricky, right? And I also see that many of these systems, they have been made by people who usually work for, let me call them, white-collar office workers, right? The software is made for those kind of people. And now suddenly they figure out that, oh, there is a construction guy who also wants to use that. And they are probably not really happy with what they get there. And then you get feedback, right, from usability and everything. We had that recently in Korea, where we put up a big touch screen in a container for the construction guys, and they can go there and they can use their finger and click on the pump, and they get the spec, they get the PNID, they get everything provided, and they can run their 4D on a big touch screen without having to use a mouse and a keyboard, right? So that was all about adapting to their requirements. We did not think about that earlier, but it was a big success in their team, that they did not have to use these stupid mouse and everything. So again, it was really made, the whole thing is of course made from our perspective, and we are sitting in front of a computer the whole day, but now we are doing work phase planning. Now we are going into the field, into the shops, and those people have different understanding, right? And that's why we invested, for instance, also heavily in mobile applications. I don't want to see somebody with a paper and then giving it to the secretary. I want everybody to have his phone and just click a button, and that's the progress, right? And then I want to roll it up to make their life easier, but also to get the feedback directly from those who are executing the work. Yeah. And that gives the benefit.
All right. Continuous improvement, yeah, while implementing, start from small. Okay, for the sake of the time, I would like to post last opportunity given to the Puan President herself to talk about that, what is going to be subject of in terms of investment required. Right.
Okay, I think I like what Rania said, where we want to look at the failures, because success is easy. I mean, a lot of times success is just one story amongst the 1,000 failures. So we'd like to know what not to do in order not to fail. And I'd like to say for my industry players, in different companies will have their own success factor. You really need to understand what you individually have, and you should be able to should only be able to invest on what you're able to. Depends on your capability. Now, what are the potential benefit from AWP, and how do we ensure we will not lose? I'd like to take the industry perspective to this, Mr. Moderator. Yeah. Now, the industry has been suffering for so long, and the first time I heard about AWP, the first thing that comes into my mind, because I'm leading a company here, is what do I have to spend? Because I cannot afford to spend. I'm already, orang kata kalau Melayu, kais pagi makan pagi. I don't know how to convert that to English. Kais pagi makan pagi. So so basically hand to mouth. I think that's the word. I think hand to mouth. So the companies that we have are already very at the borderline. For us to invest, we need to convince that it will bring maximum benefit. So I think probably one of the things that probably we would want to know is there going to be specific softwares that's required by the stakeholders? And in this case, probably because you're there, PETRONAS would want, because what we do not want to do and what we want to waste our money on is buying something and find out that there's something else that you need in your ITBs. I think that's one of the main points that we would like to know. Now, I think we had this discussion in the dry workshop, the dry run. And I was told by, I can't remember, Adam or Rainier, that under the CII, they actually have for each of these phase softwares that's available that can do each of the activity that you require. So we may already have that software if we can actually have access to what softwares that can be used. First is what are the softwares that's being used in each of these phases? What are the choices? And the second thing is, are they actually acceptable by PETRONAS, or is something that you would like to be custom made? I think that will be our major problem on the industry side, or major challenge from the industry side. Because I know, I brought this up in the dry run also, whether we actually, because the ITB requires hexagon or intergraph, to move from PDS from PDMS took me a long time to even decide, because I've invested so heavily on PDMS. Why can't I continue use this PDMS and the skills that we already have trained for the last 20 years? I can't afford to lose that. And that's exactly the point that Rania has mentioned, that we need to be able to use whatever we have and upgrade that to not customize, but align that to the through the gateways that probably have. And I think on that note, Aviva, please don't put so much high price on special gateways.
No. You all get a discount. Don't worry. I noted your names and everything. You're safe. You're safe.
Only the people in this group, okay?
Yeah, of course. Of course. We don't care about the rest of the world. It's only this group.
So I think that would be one of the things. I mean, everybody sees the benefits. It's just that how can we maximize it with the little money that we have? And we do want to move to a more optimized way of doing business. And if this is it, then we need to know how we can do it. And we need to know that please don't get us to invest. So if Petronas wants a special software, my suggestion would be Petronas invest in it and lease it to us. Then that would be the best way. We just, that takes it out of the contracting strategy at 100% in that sense. Then everybody will be on equal playing field, to actually bid for the job. So I think this is quite important because not many are IT savvy. I also put my hand. I call myself Buta IT, and to actually identify which software and to actually, when my guys come out and says, this is the investment we need to know, how do I know that this will reap the benefits and how can I convince my stakeholders that this will reap the benefit that I want? I don't know. So I think very important that we have that elephant in the room out of the picture and we understand what software is actually going to be, we're going to talk about, and we can easily do that through the engineering working group. It's the best platform that we can talk about and iron this out because very short time in this kind of webinar to actually talk about it at length, but that can be done at a side workshop. But that would help us in reaping the benefits from this AWP.
Okay, noted, Puan President. That's really very insightful of feedbacks from the stakeholders, especially consultants and contractors. I do agree. Probably the alignment of contracting part is also need to be looked at. However, that is going to be probably we will further discuss at the round 3 probably. Al, do you want to take photo or probably tea break? Al, mute. You are mute.
All right. Oh, sorry. Okay, Cik Rahim and participants. I think we are because of the level of the discussion is very interesting. So we are actually quite delayed in terms of our timing. All right. So anyway, please feel free to have your own break for each participants. Yeah, depends on your requirement. But we would like to have to take a lot of a short a break on photo session. So can we please can I please ask everybody to turn on your camera so that we can have a short photo session and concurrent break as well. Hey, who's going to be taking the picture? Secretariat?
I think normally it's Raimi, right, Razli?
Both of us.
Okay.
Anyone else?
We have 130 participants in today's session. Thank you very much. It is very encouraging. And yeah, for those who are not shy to turn on your camera.
Come on, guys. Why should you be shy? Come on, turn on your camera, turn on the video, take a picture.
Okay, Raimi. Ready? Yeah?
Okay, ready?
Countdown lah. 3, 2, 1. Tak tahu bila nak senyum ni.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, one more. One thumbs up maybe. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
All right. So I think Cik Rahim, we're going to skip the video. We plan for a filler video because of the time. I would suggest, if it is okay with the panelists, we can proceed with the round 3.
Okay, good. Since the energy is still very high, especially Mr. Adam. I can see.
But if
yeah,
there is any question for us to handle, is there
Adam?
anything from the Q&A session?
Alia, any feedback, Alia?
I believe not so much.
Yeah,
What?
there's no, I think some already answered. So basically there's just one feedback share lah, but there's no further question from the floor.
But anyway, we can have a verbal question at the end of the session and during Q&A session round 2. So please, we can proceed with panel session round 3. Over to you, Chirayum.
Okay, thank you. Let us start with this one. The transformation of AWP sometimes can be very complex. Yeah, consider that when implementing a new protocol, such as in this AWP, because there are probably there are a lot of processes the industry need to look into. A new numbers of element that will be introduced to the team, and some of it are being addressed by Adam early on, including probably new language, new presentations, new layout, new ways of collaborations. Simple question. Are we ready to move forward? Adam, do you think that industry players in Malaysia are ready and capable to adopt AWP? Do you see the benefit from it based on your really, directly involved implementing AWP from zero in Sapura projects? Thanks.
Okay, to answer that, yes, I can say that we already ready. Almost all the EPCC's company in Malaysia are ready because we already have the basic tools to achieve the AWP. But we need to really understand the AWP itself to perform the alignment between our internal. Then we can move to the objective of the AWP. So I can say that we are ready. Then what is benefit whenever we apply this methodology is we can enjoy the project alignment because it's a traditional way. We always try to align in the project time, money, and quality. But now we have another methodology that will align or drive the project between outcome prediction, the plantings, with the outcome, with the reality, the execution. Because the AWP bring the mind that we need to plan with the reality. So we need to consider the constraint things during the execution of the job or task. So before this, maybe we going only achieve the best planning practice. But now with the AWP, we need to slightly change on the mindset. We need to plan the real execution constraint or outcome reality from the execution. So for each of the tasks we're going to execute, we need to have a constraint free. We need to eliminate all the constraints. Then we can enjoy the benefits of this thing. Again, we'll come back to the alignment. We need to set our alignment between different stakeholders. Then we can have a benefit. So everything is there, but how you manage it and how you make it emerge, then you can get the good result.
Thanks, Adam. You talk about the very fundamental issues, which is the mindset of the people. If we have the technology and we have company, if we do not have the right people with the right mindset, it's nothing. Correct? So based on that, I would like to pose a question to Mr. Ryan. What are the key fundamental mindset that needed by the industry leaders in the journey to adopt AWP based on your vast experience in AWP? More than 20 years?
Yeah, I stopped counting. That's why that number won't change. It stays there. So Mr. Adam just said exactly the key point. I think it's first of all this alignment, right? Some wise guy once said that what was that? The plan is nothing, but planning is everything, right? And to put everybody into context and together, you know, that's the way forward. Practically, we are always talking about silos, right? Everybody is sitting in his little space and is working out things there. And where is the big picture, right? And I think that is one of the achievements of AWP, is to say that engineering has to support the path of construction. But in order to do that, they first of all need to know what is the path of construction, right? So this kind of communication and collaboration, that is key, but that requires, of course, the mindset to be adjusted accordingly, that everybody is ready to do that and not to sit in his little cave and carry on like in the past. That's not working, right? And it's actually about how can I say that? Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. What do you want to do? What do you want to be comfortable, or do you want to get better, right? And this is an improvement process, and it's not a radical different way of working. I wouldn't see it like that. Especially again from my vast experience. Terrible. We had a customer, I think 20 years ago, where they had that was a shipbuilder in Holland, and they had only one key resource, and that is their slipway, and they put the blocks up on the slipway to get the ship in the water, and then comes the next one, and everything was aligned to that sequence. That is the path of construction, if you want, and they had to align engineering to support the drawings on time so that they could move ahead. Otherwise, if they got stuck, then it has a domino effect on all the other projects that are waiting, right? So this is again, it's not falling from the sky. It's a proven thing. It is not brand new, but it's probably all put in a concept. So one has to go that route, and there has to be the motivation to go there. And if anybody thinks that I do only AWP when the next customer I'm working for is asking for it, otherwise I forget about it, I do my own way, old way, and I'm also only doing that when they pay me my software, alarm. That's not going to happen, right? So some owner operators are more generous. Others, they are simply saying, if you don't have it, right, we are not sponsoring that. And basically, if you don't have the software, that is mainly indicating that you have not the process in place, right? And that is way more important for everybody, that EPCs think AWP and work phase planning. And that's a must-have.
Oh, Rainy, thank you. You said about the path of construction, that remind me that it is part of the important I would say a mechanism or element in order to bring people to be aligned together.
Yes.
Now, Puan President, Puan Seriba, how can we in Malaysia know that we are ready for the AWP? You say something earlier on that the alignment and probably contracting part also is very important. So how should we start together, collaboratively?
How can we know we are ready for AWP? Ini kan, if you have children at school, this is a K-but question. There is no one answer to it. So how do we know we are ready for AWP? Simply, we need to understand a concept. AWP is a concept. It's not something that you buy off the shelf. It's a concept. What is the concept of AWP? And then you start to look into internally. You look internally to see what do we have and what do we need. That would be where we would say whether, then only we will see whether we are ready or not. Because as we mentioned just now, a lot of us would have this software in this or that manner, but the integration of it, the alignment of all this to produce the result that is required from the concept of AWP probably is not there. So we need to first understand what we have. in our own individual companies and what we don't have. And in Malaysia, we need to we need to consciously engage in a platform. We cannot do this in silo. I mean, Rainer mentioned in silos. We cannot. In order for us to move forward, we need to work collaboratively. And in my 31 years of experience in industry, there is no such thing. There is no such thing as a win-lose situation between the stakeholders and industry. There is no such thing. If there is one party that win is only very superficial, it's only temporary. But you have situations where we have a win-win situation, and that makes the success more bigger. So it's very important that we work on this collaboratively. And on the MOGSC side, we have this engineering working group that we can discuss on the requirements bit by bit. We can actually split it and make it into really understanding. You must understand that the packages that we are talking about, it's not just the normal packages, not the normal WPS that we have, not the normal packages that we're already doing at the moment. It's actually very specific activities at that point in time. So basically, specific work packages require specific work methodology by that specific company. And I think maybe on the stakeholder side, I'd like to also, readiness is from both sides because we are working collaboratively. On the industry side, we need to understand what we have. We need to actually buy or purchase what we don't have. We need to decide on that. But on the contracting strategy side, on the stakeholder, are we ready for this? Because specific, as I said, specific work packages means specific work methodology. No one company is the same as the other in terms of how they actually execute the construction. That would mean that at the feed stage, we would require all the contracts to be in place, whether it's the HUC, whether it's the construction, whether it's the installation. We need to have it up front, and we need to engage those people to say, tell me what you require and integrate that into the planning packages, and which is basically what the AWP is. Because what I understand, again, I'm not a forte in this, I'm not a subject matter expert in this. What I understand is once you complete your engineering, all that work packages actually detail specific items at all the stages, and it's just a matter of execution. So in order to have that kind of information, we need those people up front. Now, there could be a twist where a stakeholder can say, okay, a company, that feed company or the engineering company needs to have all these people on board. Now, I can say that that will not work. That will be a failure in that sense. So you need to actually have these people that you can't afford to have so many people in a company. I'm not too sure. I'm talking from my just brainstorming here, sort of thing. How do you have everybody in the front? One is the industry have to have everybody in the front, and to be honest, I don't really see that happening. But the other one is to actually have all the contracting strategy upfront identified. And I'm not too sure whether that can happen also. So this is a real thing that needs to be discussed between both industry and stakeholder. How do you manage this requirement to actually have the right people at the right place to give the right input? I think that is very important. How should we start? We should start by understanding what the concept of AWP, and let's have these sessions on the MOGSC Engineering Working Group platforms to actually talk about, and I think all the industry players, please don't be afraid to share your questions, to share your experiences, or to share your needs in terms of, because at that platform it's neutral enough that competitors can come together and share their experiences. And I think the first thing that we need to identify, I'm on the job now, Haji Nimi kata we need to start working. We need to identify the softwares per the different phases that we have. We need to have that and share that with everybody to see, okay, is it going to be a problem? Is there something that we need to do? So I think that would be my feedback on that.
Yes, very good. I can feel the experience, and Rainer have also addressed his very strong belief. And at the same time, although Mr. Adam, sorry to say that I feel that you are young, but you have reach of experience in AWP. That's very fruitful in this discussion. Yeah. Okay. After hearing the wisdom and views of the panel's members, we hope the session will be able to spark the creativity of ideas for the upcoming breakout sessions. Yeah. Al, are we ready? I believe that we are all concerned about the many controversial issue that you want to debate during the breakout sessions.
All right. So this is an opportunity for the other participants to speak up, and we want to listen more. Yeah, I myself taking a lot of notes from what Puan Sharifah mentioned, from Rainer's input and Adam's sharing. So at owner operator side, yeah, we want to listen, we want to understand, and together we should collaborate to find ways and on how we can really achieve the win-win situation, right? So let's go to the breakout room. We have 6 breakout rooms, and the participants will be supported by a facilitator in each rooms. We are slightly quite off time because so that hopefully we can only limit up to maximum 15 minutes only in the breakout, right? Or much or earlier. It's just a simple task. We're going to discuss specific challenge in terms of people, process, and technology. All right, by each room, and specify the impact and the likelihood of each challenge. Only 1 to 2 challenge per group. All right. So you can we will be directed by specific facilitators in the group, and we will meet again in the main breakout main room in 15 minutes time. So it will be 11:55 for us to conclude the session. Okay. So Raimi, Roazli, can we move the participants to their respective breakout rooms?
Opening the room now.
Okay. So see you in the new room.
How do we go to the rooms, El?
It will be automatically. You can see that.
He left. He was moved.
Okay, as you can see, the attendees have all been pre-assigned rooms. We have 6 rooms.
Okay.
We just didn't assign to the speakers and the committee. So you guys, I guess, can choose, or we can assign it for you.
No, it's fine. I take a bio break now. I'll be back in.
Yeah, you can also take a break.
Razli, maybe I'd like to go to group ni people boleh tak?
Group 1 or 2, okay.
Thank you.
Can bring me to system room.
Process ke technology?
Technology.
Technology. Okay, where am I?
Al, macam mana nak close ke the breakout?
Yes, boleh.
Boleh ya? Okay.
Okay, Cik Rahim.
Yes.
Cik Rahim already here. All right. And the participants still waiting for the participants to get back to the main room. Just hold on for a second. 15 minutes is very short time actually for the discussion, but we managed to complete it anyway. It's good discussion with the members of the breakout rooms.
I have not finished. I didn't.
Zaid, okay Zaid?
Okay. I think dah automatic balik lah sini.
We almost finished on the voting, but we can finish the voting lah just now.
Okay. Whatever you get lah.
Secretariat boleh access balik tak dia punya chatbots? Chatbot on the breakout. Macam mana nak access eh? Remy?
Room berapa eh?
Room number 2.
And room number 5.
I already got the number. Din. Untuk 3A, 3B 3A, 3B, both likelihood 4, impact 3.
Hold on. 3A, 3B, likelihood 4,
impact 3.
Impact 3.
3. Okay.
Alright.
Thank you. So we already have most of the people back in the room. So I think I can pass back to our moderator this morning, Cik Rahim, to conclude the session together with the panelists. Over to you, Cik Rahim.
Okay, thank you very much. Welcome back. Let me see what I got here. Okay, as a conclusion, I would say prelim conclusion. I would say I receive very positive feedback from all panelists. There are items that shall be mitigated. For example, adoption of AWP into a new ways of working. Probably some people look at as probably a dramatic change within the industrial player, as well as the way on how we contracting out the project. So typically, probably require a shift in the culture, as well as the technology needed. Alignment with the alignment of technology that can fit into the project. Yeah. It is also important for us to relook into the internal process prior to altering some of the project requirement, and then we need to do kind of external processes and deliverables. Collaborative shall be from not only from single parties, but together with the stakeholders as well as the industry. Challenges for adopting AWP, what has been addressed, Adam, Rainer, and Puan Sharifah, is focusing on people, process, and technology. And while it is much more on challenging to anticipate, I believe there are opportunity for us to motivate, to be motivated in order to grab the opportunity provided by implementing the AWP methodology or the concept. As what we know, everybody agree that AWP is a concept that has been, not new, have been adopted. But now it's a matter of reorganizing the process, what we already have. We can relook into many ways. For example, the utilizing of tools in order to support us for the workflow. And another one is adopting a new work process, aiming to reduce what we have in the past. For example, working in a silo between the functional parties and other deliverables. Something probably there is opportunity or gap that we can further mitigate it. That will be able for us to look into. And how is it providing through integration of big data between phases and so on. All right, that are the prelim draft that I would say very positive feedback. Readiness is just a matter of on how we will be able to mitigate some of the controversial issues or question for us to move forward. Al?
Tak nampak muka Cik Rahim.
Tak nampak muka Sorry, tak buka dulu. Alright.
Alright, so maybe we can also ask a round of final comment, 1 minute each from each panelist. Starting with Adam, Rainer, and then conclude by Puan Sharifah. Alright, please Adam.
For conclusion, I can say that we have everything in our hands. Now we need to move forward. How to make it everything big in one thing to achieve the AWP.
Alright, thank you Adam. Very short and precise. Okay, Mr. Rainer,
Yeah,
we heard a lot of from you today. Maybe some 1 minute of conclusion. Are we ready?
First of all, yeah, I think we are on a very good way, and thanks to you, PETRONAS guys, because I think this is a very smart way of moving the entire industry into the next phase, basically, or into the future, and by not rolling over them. And lots of anecdotes, but I have been in cases where the owner operator simply says, "You are going to do AWP now," and that was no fun, really. So, and this is a way better move to go there step by step, right? Raise the awareness, make people understand what it is before you get really into the action. But everybody can go further down into the details. And what I'm offering is just, if anybody has a question or any doubts or whatever, I'm listening. Reach out to me, and I'm there. Thank you.
Thank you, Rainer. Definitely, it's much more fun this way. We don't want to to fight among each other, among the owner, operator, or the partners, and we want to reach win-win situation, like Puan Sharifah said. And last word from you, Puan Sharifah.
Okay, I think again, on behalf of the industry, say thank you, PETRONAS, to holding this workshop, and I hope we can have more workshops together on all the initiatives that you intend to have transparency to the industry, to actually work together towards implementing whatever that you want. Because your success is our success. For you, if you become Fortune 100, we also benefit from there, inshallah. So last words I have is that we will have the understanding. We will, inshallah, have the understanding. We may have the tools within already in our companies. We have the stakeholders with us to actually work out and iron out all the questions and the differences. Let's go on the neutral platforms that we have, and let's get to the details and work out this, how we can actually move together. I think that's what I see.
Thank you, Sharifah. Thank you, Puan Sharifah, and MOGSC for the willingness to collaborate with us. And definitely, I think one of a key moving forward as well is to explore further in the engineering work group, right? So definitely, please stay tuned for the participants. Stay tuned for the next activities that we are planned in the space of creating better understanding, creating more awareness, so that we can bring the whole industry in the journey together, so that we can benefit the most from it, and not to lose from this adoption of AWP. Okay, maybe one last check if there is any pending question, Alia. I cannot see the meeting chat is muted.
Any report from Adam?
Yeah, so far there's no further question. It's just feedback from the floor. There's two feedbacks given, but no questions.
All right. So, and we are already also past 12 noon as a planned completion of the session anyway. So, okay, the last word from our moderator, Mr. Rahim.
Thank you. Last word to every beginning, for sure there is ending lah. My closing pantun. Nelayan ke laut mengharapkan gelama, pulang petang membawa selar papan. Perbincangan webinar bermanfaat bersama, penggunaan kaedah AWP menjadi harapan. Seperti pepatah kata arwah Farid Ismail Emir, fikir-fikirkanlah. Thank you.
Fikir-fikirkanlah dan selamat beramal. So terima kasih Encik Rahim. Maybe we need to translate that to later to Rainer.
I need
Yes,
subtitles.
I can do that in English. Yeah, in English. In English, fishermen, go to the sea expecting a glamour or probably a silver white croaker, but however, very unfortunate, they return in the afternoon with a solar papan ataupun black fin scarf. However, during the discussion webinar, we have seen the mutually beneficial. So the use of AWP methodology is actually our aspiration and desirable. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Cik Rahim. And for participants, please, we are hoping you could provide your feedback and for the post event survey, that links will be provided right in the chat box, or you can also type the tiny.cc/JIC survey in the screen. And it's 12:13 now. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank all the participants. Thank you, our moderator and panelists. We learned a lot, and definitely a lot of looking forward for moving forward together, inshallah, in this journey. And in this challenging environment, challenging business environment, there is more reason for us to group up, kan, to be together. We are in this together, and owner operator or in the our partners in terms of EPC contractors, engineering consultant, as well as solution providers, to bring better value and to improve the overall competitiveness of the Malaysian industry. Okay, so please fill in the feedback form, and until we meet again for the next workshop, stay tuned. Okay, thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Thank you, Cik Rahim. Thank you, Petronas. Thank you, DIC.
Thank you, MOGSC.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam.